Guys, today I'm installing a TXV on this. My first thing that I need to do is pull a vacuum on my recovery drum because I haven't done it yet, so I got to do that before I can recover all the refrigerant. Here we go. While that's going, let's start taking some of this apart. The reason I said I'm installing a TXV and not that I'm changing one because the TXV is not there. Oh, and I also quoted them a new capacitor. And cleaning this coil. I hope there's a water source nearby. Cleaning the condenser coil. So we got a lot to do. Now here's what I'm talking about. This is supposed to have a TXV right here. And the fact that it don't means that this piston that comes with the coil, it is way too big. It's basically just a flow-through piston. It's got to have the TXV. This thing has been basically operating without a metering device for, I don't know when the coil was changed, so it's been operating like that for a long time now. So that's why we're putting in a TXV. The gnats are horrible out here. I mean, I'm like working in a cloud of them. Normally they don't bother me, but man. I'm basically going ahead and taking this off because it can make my job a little easier. Plus I can pull a vacuum and put this together while it's pulling a vacuum. Let's start our recovery. Let me see, this is a 2.5 ton package. I did a 1.5 ton split yesterday on a review that's going to be coming out on this soon, and I was just shocked at how fast it was. Let me see, open this up a little bit, bleed my lines. Alright, now that I've got a good vacuum on this, so I'm going to start my recovery time right now. I have it throttled. Because I don't want liquid getting in there. This is going to be really fast. You're not going, if it's like yesterday, it goes down extremely fast. I think I'm going to put my TXV right here. Looks like that's the end, so it'll go like this and just tap me a hole for my equalizer tube. And look, whoever did this left me a strap. So as soon as I get this completely recovered, that's what we're going to do. I'm at 4 minutes and 37 seconds, and I'm down to 6 psi. PSI, and it's 5.5 minutes. I had my TXV cut in where I want it. Now I'm just going to make a hole for this equalizer tube. I'm trying real hard not to go through and punch a hole in the bottom of it. Perfect. Lovely. All right, let's get the soldering that in. All right, we're switching that to braze. I've got this closed off, this open, and this open. We just need to see if I'm reading any PSI. I am not. So we're good to start brazing on this thing. Now you're gonna see when I light this, I like a tight blue flame. All right, let's let that cool off for just a little bit. That is not sealed at all. We're gonna have to do that again. All right, we got that sealed up good. I thought I had y'all recording earlier, but I guess I did not. You do see me welding on these with no heat protection on the valve. That's because I use an oxyacetylene torch and I have intense heat right here, but I don't have to heat up the whole valve so that I can weld right here like you would with a B tank or I guess what they call MAP gas. That has a really big flame and you have to heat the whole thing up with oxyacetylene. You don't really have to do that. But with that said, sometimes you do need to, you run a risk of overheating it. So yes, maybe that is a little bit of a risk, but I've done this so many times and I have the heat just right here. I have rarely ever had a problem overheating a TXV. In fact, I can't think of a time that I've done it with oxyacetylene, not one single time. Yeah, with oxyacetylene, you get on it and you get off real fast. That looks like a little bubble, like I've got too much pressure on it or something on the bottom right there. I was bleeding nitrogen through the lines, and my compressor still had some refrigerant in it. So yes, I had a little bit of pressure on it. That is really hard to tell. I think it's sealed though. We won't know till we pressure test. That one was... It's got a dark spot on the bottom. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'll try to get you to where you can. Can y'all see that little dark spot on the bottom right there? Upon close inspection, I don't think it's a hole. I think it's just a dark spot in the solder, and sometimes if you wait a little longer and let it cool off, those little dark spots will go away. Well, I'm gonna leave that as is right now. I could see the refrigerant coming out in that. Alright, I think we got that. I had a little problem with it too because of the refrigerant coming out. In here, I'm going to cut this out and we're going to put it right here instead. I have my piece cut and formed. Let's see if I can swage it without cracking it. Looks like I've done so. Real nice like. Alright, so that's what it looks like. We can bend this out the way once we get everything soldered in. Right now I'm worried about this joint coming loose, so I'm going to try to do it first. see how we did. As y'all can see, most of the refrigerant is now gone from the compressor. Oh, that looks great. Looks like I need to touch that up on the bottom. That one looks good. Oh, that's much better. All right. Now let's do a pressure test. Okay, I've got 236.9 psi. All right, let's watch it for just a little while. There's somebody who went jogging by with his dog, and he is screaming the whole time he's doing it. My pressure test is holding so far. I've dropped 0.1 psi in about 4 minutes. I'm starting my vacuum with my ballast open. I thought I was. Plug in. Ballast open. Oh, let's look for a water source. I'm getting down there. Let's I hope there's not too much refrigerant in that compressor. But we're just getting started. I'm gonna clean this up. I've got to do some electrical work. I gotta change that capacitor, and I may clean out the inside of that too. Oh my word. Oh, that was dirtier than I thought. Somebody's trying to call me back to back to back. One day they're going to realize that don't help. Look at that. That right there doesn't seem to have any kind of drain to it. The blower is filthy too, so I'm gonna do the best I can with that real quick. Got that put back together. The blower looks much better. Let's put the top on it. We are replacing these two in a box with one capacitor, and we're going to try to strap it up like it's supposed to be. I saw this when I was wiring it back up. You see how it's gotten hot, so I'm going to replace it. I don't want to call back on something so simple. Guys, I was having a little bit of trouble with oil trapped refrigerant and pulling a deep vacuum. It seems like there was still a little bit in there. And I got it down to like 480 microns, and it would go up to 600 and back down to 500, and yeah, I was just having lots of trouble. It would go as far up as 800 and then back down to 600, 550, and it's got to be that oil trapped refrigerant. But I valved it off and it has held underneath 1,000, so I'm gonna leave it at that. itching to fire this thing up. All right, now let's put power to it. Let me check my wiring real quick. Yeah, we're all good. Okay, we're up and running. Oh, look at that pressure. Before, my suction pressure was 177 and my head pressure wasn't much different. I have not added any more refrigerant. That is much better. Oh my word. Alright, so there's a fuller story to why that TXV was not installed. I'll tell you in just a second. I just did a little research and found out. Right now I'm getting a 14-degree temperature drop. 13.5. Before, when I checked temperature drop, it was 11 degrees. I think this is going to improve a little bit as we let it run. That coil looks so much better after I cleaned it thoroughly. Hey guys, that job turned out very well. Before I put that TXV in, I could only get a temp drop of like 12 degrees. And in the end, the closest vent to the package unit, I was getting 16.9 degrees. So it's a huge improvement. I told you I would tell you about who did that coil because I found out what was going on. Let's just say I know this person because he used to work for me. And so the blame really comes down to me. I had a real hard time when I had employees maintaining quality control, getting quality employees. And when I would get a quality employee, someone would come along and hire him right out from underneath me. It's a difficult thing that every business owner has to deal with. Actually, I've only had 2 really good employees that I would hire again if I needed somebody. And I had employees for about 8 years. But in the end, that's my fault. I didn't go behind this person and double check his work. So yes, the Run Cat Bandit used to work for me. That's part of the reason you see so many capacitors in a box. I'm going behind these people now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.